Good to have you. With few days to the governorship and state assembly elections, candidates are leaving no stone unturned in canvassing the people's votes. In the last round of efforts, they seem to want the position more than ever. Now, while the Akwa Ibom state chapter of Akwa party has identified itself as alternative party to address the problems of the state it voted into power, the party's governorship candidate, Emem Coffie, looks ready to kick the ball rolling as soon as he resumes office. Joining us now is Emem Coffie to speak on his plans for the residents of the state he voted in as governor. Thanks for coming to Newsday on Arise News. Good to have you. Very good. Now, last year, there were insinuations that the Accord Party, Akwa Ibom State Chapter, is being sponsored by the state government, and of course that you're holding a substitutive candidate position. Can you shed more light on this, and has the narrative changed so far?
Well, that was, as usual, some fake news that was rolling all over the place because some people felt really intimidated when they saw a personality like me coming to the race. And so the only way to play down on Accord was to claim it was we were playing a substitute role. The chairman of the party debunked that severally. And I once again at this minute still debunk it. I'm sponsoring my election 100%. I'm not depending on anybody to fund because I'm a private businessman. And what I do in business is what I want to bring down to Akwa Ibom State. I want to get the youths to know that they don't need to depend on politics and politicians to earn a living. They have to know politics is not a career, it's a call to service. So we're not playing a substitute role, we're going right into the elections. We're campaigning, we're doing door-to-door all over the communities as we speak. Today we're going to be doing a road show, going around and letting people know that they need to vote for us.
All right, I want to ask a question. Let's probably dial back to before the presidential elections on the 25th. A lot of people probably criticized you and several other candidates of several parties running for the governorship, that there was you yourself and several other party members were no-show at the peace accord signing. Talk to us about that.
Well, unfortunately, at the peace accord signing, I was not available. I wasn't even in the States. I'm still a businessman. And the information came very abruptly. It was impromptu for me. I was outside the state doing business. Like I said, I'm not a core politician, and I'm coming to tell people that politics is not a career. You can do your business. You can serve government. If you have an opportunity to serve, you come and serve. But it's not a life career that you spend all your time doing just politics and believing that you must remain in politics to be able to take care of yourself and your family. I'm a real estate developer. I'm also into energy business. So I had reason to be out of the States. I got the information late.
No, but
I attended.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I attended to come in at this point.
The peace accord. Yeah.
When you speak and say you are not a core politician, and it's almost, you're almost denigrating other politicians as probably jobless, or probably people that actually delve into politics are people that do not have other careers. This is the election period. This is politics at its peak. When you speak about probably still trying to do other businesses rather than focusing on campaigning and trying to win the electorate onto your side, then I question if you are probably aware of where you are, the season you find yourself, and what you want to do.
The question is not very clear, but as much as I understand what you just asked, yes, I'm not denigrating those who decide to play politics, but I'm saying to the youths, especially in Akwa Ibom, if you are here, you discover that the youths, 80% of the youths are idle, and all they believe that they should do is do politics. In fact, if you approach a young child and tell him, what do you want to be in the future? He says, I want to be a politician. That norm has to stop because the elected positions are few compared to the population. And so youth and people must begin to learn that politics is a call to service. It shouldn't be the only means of livelihood, because that's why the corruption is coming about. That's why we're spending so much money on maintaining public office holders than spending money on infrastructural development and developing the people. So that's what I mean.
Very good, Mr. Coffie. Now, as you said, politics is a call to service. Now, in that regard, why the choice of Accord? You could have chosen any other party. And how popular is Accord in Akwa Ibom State as we speak? And is your policies regarding that resonating with the people whom you seek to serve?
Accord is a party that is built on the premise of oneness and progress. Now, in Akwa Ibom, we have had so much antagonism between brothers because of different political parties that they belong to. And that's what I really fight against. Politics should be friendship. Politics is called to service. It's not a war. And so we've had a situation where, like I said in one of the programs, you have a PDP man go to the hotel owned by an APC person, and the news press around us looks as if he has gone to dine with the devil. So Accord means our norm is oneness and progress. So we want to come together, work as one in the state and make progress. Like I tell people, I will not waste my time as a governor trying to prove anybody. I will spend my time trying to work because there's a lot of work to do. There's no energy to waste on proving people and making enemies and not moving forward. Of course, we're still one probing, wasting energy on probing has cost the present government. So I will hit the ground running. Now, the choice of Accord also is Accord is the first on the ballot. And so it's very easy to get people to vote. The old women in the village and so on who cannot even identify the parties they are voting on vis-a-vis the flag bearers. It's easy to get them to know Accord is the way to go. Just the first party, and it's the sign of the thumb. The thumb you use to vote, that is the logo of the party. And I also went to Accord because I know we don't have a cabal and godfathers around there who will make it difficult for you to function. Sometimes we blame governors when they come into office. We say they are not working, they are not able to keep the programs they promise. The truth is that we forget that they are godfathers. We forget that they are cabals. We forget that they are psychopaths who muzzle the person to make sure that his programs are not even achieved. And he spends more energy concentrating on the cabal than working. So Accord doesn't have a cabal. Every citizen in Akwa Ibom State is a cabal.
All right, Mr. Coffie, I want to speak about, you've spoken about Accord and your choice for Accord, but I look at it closely and look at the presidential elections, and PDP is still a strong force in Akwa Ibom State. And the APC came close, and Labour Party also tried to raise his head. But you look at all this, let's talk about grassroots politics. How much work have you done to ensure that you've conversed the nook and crannies to be able to gather enough electorate's promise to probably vote for Accord on the day, come the 18th? Because as it stands right now, a lot of people are saying that this might still be going towards the PDP because Akwa Ibom is a PDP state.
Kingdoms rise and fall in history. There was a time that the Egyptian Empire was they were ruling the whole world. There was a time it was Assyria. There was a time it was the Philistines. There was a time it was Israel. There's time it was Rome. Now it's America. And we know America is sliding, and maybe it will be China. And then after China, it will be Africa. So it's not cast in stone. The end of PDP is here in Akwa Ibom State. Their reign is over. You go to the streets and talk to the people. They cannot continue to do the same thing over and over. They pass 24 years and expect a different result. There's hunger in the land, there's poverty in the land, and we're coming with programs that are people-friendly. I'm coming up with vocational institutions in all primary schools and secondary schools so that children begin to learn a skill as early as 6 years. And that will run for 8 years. By 8 years, a child must have a particular skill and a trade. So even if he doesn't want to continue to university, he has something he's doing. And that education is compulsory. We are building 2 skill acquisition centers in every local government to harvest the youths that have gone out to school and have no skills and have nothing to offer. When a child goes to university in Africa and goes to study linguistics and African languages, I wonder how many places are available for employment. When a child goes out in his school to study history in a Nigerian university, I wonder how much value he can place immediately in the society. Doesn't mean those courses are useless, but for now, I think our direction, our emphasis should be on science and technology. So if you have as youths that are skilled in technology-related crafts, then we have something to offer the society. I'm building 10 cottage industries in every local government that will absorb these youth. And these are industries that we built between 6 months to 1 year. I don't know which other party is offering that.
All right, Mr. Coffie.
I'm putting emphasis on agriculture. Yes?
Yeah.
I'm putting emphasis on agriculture. I'm putting emphasis. Yeah?
I asked a question on how do you seek to achieve all these grand plans you've actually laid out. How do you seek to achieve it? Because you need to get to the electorate and they need to buy in to what you are selling for you to probably get the opportunity.
We have gone through the local governments. We have done town hall meetings in all the 10 constituencies. We have gone to all the local governments. For this window that we have for about another 1 week, we are still doing that. We are doing roadshow. We are getting to the grassroots. For the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we have been doing door-to-door in the communities. We have not been making so much noise, but we have been making noise at the communities. We are reaching out to people. We are talking to groups. We have a lot of groups that have collapsed to us. We have a lot of groups that believe in what we stand for. Because what we are talking about is just simple. The cost of doing 2-3 roads for 40-50 billion naira has done most of these projects. And everybody will be engaged. Everybody. So we have reached out to the electorate big time.
All right, Mr. Coffie. Now, I would like your impressions on Akwa party's performance at the just concluded presidential elections. What do you think needs to change? Going back to the drawing board, you think?
Well, that strategy is, I think, a little bit classified. But we know in this last election, and even in this election that is coming, people are looking at individuals. We have played party enough all over the country. People are looking at individuals. They're not looking at party. Because it's not a must that the party brings out the best candidates. So we're looking at individuals, and that's what the electorate are saying. And so in the last election, we did not have enough capable people in most of the offices. People came up, but we decided to drop people that we know did not have capacity to perform. It's not just about filing people in every office. You have to have, our call stands for efficiency. So we have to put people in place who have capacity to perform.
All right.
And then, of course, moving forward, some lapses here and there, our solutions should be classified at this moment.
All right, I want to say thank you very much, Emem Coffie, for joining us here on Newsday. Emem Coffie, the governorship candidate of the Akwa party in Akwa Ibom State.